how will owning a franchise impact my lifestyle and my family? And how do I talk with my husband or my wife about this? My quick answer to that, Ray, is early and often,
Right.
right? Learned a long time ago, franchising something you do with a spouse, not to a spouse, right? And so franchising should impact your lifestyle in a positive way. You should gain many, many things from small business ownership. You want to list off some of those positives, Ray?
Oh, sure. Control of time, time with family, financial resources, equity, living the life that you've dreamed of. I could go on and on.
I'm going to jump in and ask you a specific question. You're a small business owner. Did you miss any of your boys' sports events?
Terry, you know that the thing I'm most proud of is I did not miss events.
You
I
did not.
I did not miss events. At the end of my days, I think my kids are going to be able to say at least one good thing about me is like I showed up.
And we hear that a lot of time from the people we work with. They want to spend more time with family. They don't mind coming home from a soccer game and doing a couple hours paperwork in the evening. As long as they are controlling when they leave for that game, they get to see the whole game. Maybe they get to coach, for the
Yeah.
first time in their careers. You should have a positive impact on both your lifestyle and your family. And you should find something that you really enjoy doing. Can you enjoy being a small business owner?
You can absolutely enjoy being a small business owner. You can share it with your family. I always thought our dining room table was a bit of a shark tank. As my boys grew up, now they're young men and, grown up in college and grad school, but there was a time when they were very young and we were talking about just because you talk about these kind of things at the dining room table. And being a business owner, my wife's a business owner. We have kids who have been thinking that way. And I used to be amazed when they were listening to Shark Tank or in Canada, was it the Dragon's Den? And even as young kids, they were asking very insightful questions. And that was, bursting with pride, as you can tell I was. That was something that was very, very important. And going to those questions, because it's really two questions. Often the first part of that question, how's this going to affect my family? That often comes from an area of fear when people ask
Mhm.
that question, right? It's fear and anxiety. Like, am I not going to have any time with my family? Am I going to have a bad financial result? Like, it comes from a position of fear. And I want you to know that you need to do the homework and you need to understand, but instead of being from a position of fear, make it a position of knowledge.
Mhm.
And you can also get what you want. I was able to coach sports for over 15 years for my kids. I thought it was positive. We'll see.
You didn't say attend, you said coach.
I coached
You were
for,
on the sidelines.
I was on the sidelines and it was a lot of fun. And then as they progressed up in sports and they were playing at the high school and collegiate level, it was great to go and watch and see how that goes. But you can get the financial, the equity, the control. For me, control was always very big. I know it was big for you. So it doesn't have to be from a position of fear. You need to answer those questions from a position of knowledge. And the second part about the do I tell the spouse? Often people will come and say, like, do I have to tell the spouse? And I'm like, I'm not Dr. Phil. However, you need to discuss it. At least that's how it works in my house and a very successful business folks I know. That's how it works. It doesn't mean that one doesn't take the lead in the beginning, but at some point, everybody needs to be involved, even if it's going to be one or the other's business. They need to know about it. They need to understand. And it's a resource. Don't give up on a resource. You're getting another set of eyes. You're getting someone
Exactly.
who can come in and sit on the same side of the table. I always tell people don't sell your spouse. Have them come and learn with you. Maybe you got really interested in a business. Having another set of eyes to come in and work with you can be valuable. I'll
I had a
stop there.
gentleman ask me that question last week. Do I need to tell my spouse? And I said, of course you do. And I said, here, let me give you some advice. I said, just go to your bedroom and get your blanket and pillow and move it out to the garage. Okay. Just get ahead of it because that's where you're going to be if you don't tell your spouse. And we had a good laugh over it. He said, yeah, okay, I understand. But I also have a suggestion, right? A good way to introduce what Ray and I do to your spouse is show them hireyourbestboss.com.
Oh, yeah.
Let them watch a couple 3 or 4 minute videos because we demonstrate on there the service that we provide. We answer questions. And I talk to spouses all the time that say, I went to your website and I watched a ton of videos. I really got a sense of what it is that you do because let's face it, Ray, no one has ever heard of a franchise consultant before, right? Unless you're looking for a business and maybe you've worked with a franchise company or applied for information or something. When we show up, nobody ever says, oh yeah, I've worked with 34 franchise. No, it's just not the case. So we have to explain and demonstrate what it is we do, and that's a great way to introduce your spouse to the process.
It absolutely is. Terry, the other thing is that many people have had experiences with coaches or consultants that wasn't great. It's not the same. It's not the same process with every that you go through it. I mean, listen, you can have a Yugo going back a 1,000 years is a car, and a Lexus is a car. They're very different. If you think it would help your spouse to have a call with us, even without you, do it. We'd love to have that call. Most of the time, people who don't want to have a call, they just want to know that you're not blowing it. Show them the process. Understand they're always welcome on any call.
Always welcome.
Our philosophy is you do things with people, not to them, so they understand. That's always been our philosophy. This is a very different process, and you're in charge of the process. And that's a big difference. Not everybody's the same. As soon as you get a whiff of a coach or consultant who's trying to sell you, run, don't walk to the door. Really do it. And I don't think anyone I've ever worked with or you've worked with would think that, but if they did, they should run or walk to the door too.
Totally agree. Totally agree.